We are all familiar with rejection. We are all familiar with being ghosted or people not necessarily responding in the way that we wanted, situations and experiences not necessarily panning out in the ways that we had desired them to. And I feel we're all also familiar with the idea of taking those things personally and navigating that territory with the pain of feeling like, well, what is wrong with us, or what is wrong with me, and the fact that maybe they didn't want me, or maybe I wasn't good enough, or whatever that inner dialogue is. I feel like we're pretty familiar with the negativity that comes when things don't pan out the way that we think that they should. So we're all familiar with that, but let me flip the script and take this a different direction. So we're familiar with those things, but what I have learned in my experience, 100% of the time, all of those closed doors, all of those unanswered texts, all of those times that there has been no rejection and whatever else, like long periods of no response, those have all been divine timing. Those have all worked out in my favor, whether that be redirecting me to bigger and better opportunities that were more aligned with where I was at, whether those be friendships that were actually more in tune with the type of friendships that I was attempting to cultivate, or whether they're work opportunities or business connections that aren't, I actually wind up moving into a space that is more fulfilling and more gratifying than the space where I was attempting to put all my energy into. So what if those rejections are not actually rejections? They're just redirections. This is when we can go to the idea of when no answer is an answer, right? So recently I've had a few situations like this where I have not gotten answers for a good month and a half, and I have been basically just over and over like, okay, can I get some answers? Can I get some answers? And nothing has been in return, and it has not worked out in the way that I thought that it should. And I finally, after a month and a half, have just been like, okay, so maybe this isn't the place for me to be. Maybe this isn't necessarily what is best for me at this time. And there's probably something bigger out there that is more in alignment for me. Another situation that this showed up in was a connection wound up getting upset with me because of my lack of response, right? So she had projected onto me how I made her feel ignored because I didn't respond. But yet that person didn't know what I was going through or ever bothered to ask about my experiences. So that friendship or that connection kind of dissolved. And while we might take, for instance, like I'm playing both sides of the fence here. So I'm playing like, okay, so I have been the person on the side that hasn't answered things, that hasn't been very direct, I guess, or I should say I am not the person to give the immediate response, right? And I then see that in in other connections where, okay, well, why aren't they giving me the immediate response? And so I think it's important to look at both aspects, right? So when I have demanded these things from other people, that is an insecurity of myself. When I have demanded other people to act in a certain way or to show up for me in a certain way, that definitely is because I am not showing up for myself in that specific way. Also, when I am demanding, or not demanding, but when I'm really pushing for when I'm really pushing for and being rigid and like just continuing to like bully my way through, I am seeing that I'm also not trusting the things it is that like I'm not trusting the universe and how everything is orchestrated. And I find myself being stressed out in these moments, but yet when I do stop, I pause, I take a step back, I assess and discern, like, okay, where is it that A, I'm not trusting? And B, where is it that I am putting my insecurities onto other people and other situations? And what is the reality of the situation? And could there be other things that I'm not seeing that actually might be more in my favor? And so when I take a step back and I actually assess and be honest with myself about these situations, like I had said before, 100% of the time, all of those situations have been for my benefit. They have worked out in the best case scenario that I couldn't have actually thought of. And what was really getting in the way was my clinging to how I thought things should be, how I think people should behave, and the expectations that I put on others, right? So my resistance to what is versus accepting and acknowledging what is in order for me to move ahead, trust, and take a step back to be able to discern, hey, it's not that I am not worthy or I'm not enough. There are so many other factors at play that I might not be seeing. And when we're able to do those things, we're able to stop pushing. We're able to be more present. We're able to not have it take up so much bandwidth. And we can actually learn to be more present, more fulfilled, and show up with gratitude instead of entitlement. Basically, that was me for sure. Show up with gratitude instead of being entitled to these things, and learning that, hey, this is working out for my highest good. Even though I cannot see it, there is something that is conspiring behind the scenes for me to learn from this situation, to be able to expand in a space that I thought wasn't possible before, and to be able to find and cultivate more joy. So taking those steps back allows for all of these contemplations to happen. It allows for us to be more sane, more present, and full of more fulfillment. And while I know this can seem like a daunting task, right? It's kind of an unpacking, and we can feel justified in our anger, and that's okay too. It's bringing in awareness to the whole situation and working through and validating our experiences and our emotions at the same time. And if this is something that you feel you could need more help with, I have mentorship openings, and you can check out my link in the bio in the description box there. So, and I am sending you so much love, grace, and gratitude. Until next time.